Wisely stewarding resources create pathways that handouts never could. And this stretches far beyond banking or nonprofits. If you're leading a company, you steward your people. If you're raising a family, steward your children's gifts. If you're managing influence, steward your platform. God doesn't ask all of us to do everything, but he does call each of us to do our small thing. So let me ask you, where in your life has God entrusted you with something small that could multiply if you stewarded it well? Are you ready to unlock growth, build resilience, and confidently take the next step in leadership, career, and faith? Welcome to The Next Move. I'm Orvin Kimbrough, a CEO, author, and leader with a passion for helping people and organizations thrive. My journey from foster care to CEO has fueled my mission to help professionals scale their confidence, leadership, and influence through mindset shifts, expanded networks, and bold action. Each week, I'll share reflections ripped straight from my blog to inspire and empower you with actionable insights. Let's get started and make your next move your best move. Here's the truth. $1 million sounds big. I know it sounds big, but it's just a seed. Buried, it does absolutely nothing. Steward it, it can change a city. And the same is true for your gifts. The same is true for your career and your calling. Today, we're talking about why charity isn't enough and why stewardship is the difference between staying stuck and stepping into transformation. Welcome back to The Next Move, the podcast where we explore faith, leadership, and personal growth to help you take your next step with purpose and confidence. Folks, I'm your host, Orvin Kimbrough. I am so incredibly grateful that you are here today. We're anchoring our conversation in Luke 12:48. To whom much is given, much is required. That verse isn't about guilt. It's about responsibility. It's about recognizing that everything that God places in our hands, our time, our talent, our treasure, our influence comes. It comes with a charge. 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 Don't waste it. Don't bury it. Steward it, multiply it. I'll be honest. There was a season in my life when this verse encouraged me and seasons when it scared me. But every time it reminded me, God doesn't just want preservation. Guess what? He wants multiplication. Recently, I sat down with a group in North St. Louis City who were stewarding a $1 million seed fund. Now, $1 million sounds like a lot, but in the context of a city's future, it's just a seed. What struck me most wasn't the money. It wasn't the money. It was the vision. It was the vision. They were asking. They weren't just asking. They weren't just asking, how do we cover needs? They weren't just asking, how do we cover needs? They were asking, how do we build something? How do we build something that lasts? How do we multiply opportunity? And here's the thing. This isn't just a St. Louis story. It could be Detroit or Dallas or Des Moines or your own backyard. Anytime resources are entrusted to us, the question is the same. Will we bury them or will we multiply them? That's the essence of stewardship, folks. Whether in business or in community, we all face the same choice. Do we use our resources for quick fixes or do we structure them for lasting transformation? Charity fills an empty stomach today. I know this. I was a foster kid. Charity fills an empty stomach today. Stewardship, catch this, stewardship builds the farm. Stewardship builds the grocery store and the credit history so no one goes hungry tomorrow. Both matter. Both matter, but only stewardship transforms generations. And it's not just about communities, it's about careers. Uh, um, investors don't put their money into companies that just survive. They invest in companies that grow, that scale. Leaders who only put out fires miss the chance to build systems that last. Stewardship isn't just a biblical principle, it's an economic one. This principle came alive for me in a conversation with a man I once knew who was in the last mile delivery business. I'll never forget sitting with him. He told me he was paying $2,000 a week to rent a car just so he could make $3,000 a week. 60, 70 hours of work, and he was barely above water. I could see the exhaustion in his eyes. I could feel the desperation in his voice. And I understood it because I've lived through my own seasons of being stuck, working hard, but never catching up, feeling like the system itself was stacked against me. Well, we structured a small loan backed by a CD I put up. It wasn't charity, it was stewardship. It gave him space to rebuild his credit, restore some dignity, and take a next step forward. And he bought a van that helped him with this. Uh, his life ended tragically, but the lesson stayed with me. Even small amounts of capital, stewarded wisely, can open doors that charity alone cannot. This is a universal principle, whether it's a community seed fund or a struggling delivery driver, the principle is the same. Stewardship, wisely stewarding resources create pathways that handouts never could. And this stretches far beyond banking or nonprofits. If you're leading a company, you steward your people. If you're raising a family, steward your children's gifts. If you're managing influence, steward your platform. God doesn't ask all of us to do everything, but he does call each of us to do our small thing. So let me ask you, where in your life has God entrusted you? Where in your life has God entrusted you with something small that could multiply if you stewarded it well? Maybe it's your dollars. Maybe it's your expertise. Maybe it's it's a relationship. Maybe it's your voice. And here's the sharper question. Don't miss this. Will you bury what you've been given, or will you multiply it? Will you let your season of stuck define you, or will you steward even the little you have into something greater? Remember this. Transformation doesn't happen when a few do a lot. I hope you caught that. I hope you caught that. I hope you caught that. It happens when all of us do our small part faithfully, consistently, and courageously. Lord, help me to see what you have placed in my hands. Give me the wisdom to steward it well, the courage to release it, and the faith to believe you can multiply even my small part for your greater glory. Thanks for joining me on The Next Move. If today's episode encouraged you, share it with a friend, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss future conversations on faith, leadership, and growth. Until next time, Remember, your next move matters. Thank you for tuning in to The Next Move. I hope today's reflection inspired you to take the next step in your leadership, career, or faith journey. If this episode resonated with you, share it with someone who might need a little encouragement this week. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode. And if you'd like more reflections or resources, visit orvinkimbrough.com or theaccidentalbanker.com. Until next time, remember, every step you take brings you closer to thriving. Let's keep moving forward together.